Hi everyone. In the last video, I have told you how to manipulate variables and how to create functions in Maxima. Today, I'm going to show you how to use comments, how to use system variables, and an alternative way to define functions. Comments, they are very interesting because you can make your codes or your worksheets more easy to read. So you start a comment with a slash and an asterisk, and you type your comment, for example, and then you end the comment with an asterisk and a slash. In the same cell of a comment, you can type a command to Maxima execute. For example, we can make an operation, and then if I press Shift plus Enter, then Maxima ignores the comment. We can also insert comments in WX Maxima using cell. For example, there is a cell that is a text cell, and I can type a comment, and if I try to run it, Maxima just ignore what's written. For the WX Maxima, this comment is going to be a entire cell, and this kind of comment can be put together with other kinds of inputs. So let's now talk about system variables. Let's make a section cell. We execute some commands in Maxima. The outputs, they can be used as variables. For example, if I want to use this variable, I can this first output, I can type this. Then I have the same result of this output. The last output is also a variable in the system, and it's can be called by the percent symbol. So if I do this, I have the last output, and I can use this to make operations, for example, this. So we just have to be careful about using this variable because sometimes for example, we discover a mistake in some cell and you want to go back to correct it, but this variable changes every time a new output is get. For example, if I want to use this as 14 and I want to make an operation, for example, a subtraction, then I get a wrong result is if I think this was 14, because it's not the value it has is the value of the last output that is in the line below. So be very careful when you use this variable, but it can be very useful in some situations. I would like also to show you a alternative to define functions in Maxima. In the last video, I have showed you that if I want to define a function, I have to type colon and the equal sign together. And if I want to obtain the result of the function when x has a value, I can do this. But there is an alternative way to define functions using the command define. Let me define this as another function. And again, the function works normally. What's the difference then of you defining the function with define and with colon and the equal sign? The difference is that sometimes we cannot define a function writing explicitly its expression. For example, let me define a variable that is this. This is not a function. If I try to use this as a function, for example, by typing this, Maxima does not understand and returns me something that makes no sense. So if I want to define a function through this variable, then I have to use define. Then I can compute the function when x equals 1. Remember that Maxima tries to make the computations the most precise as possible, so it does not approximate this result as a number. If I want to do so, I can use float, and I don't need to repeat this expression. I can use it now, the system variable, since this was the last output. And here it is the numeric approximation. Another example when define is necessary is when, for example, you want to define a function through the derivative of another function. For example, we have not seen how to derive yet, but I'm going to anticipate to you this command. You can derive a function like this. Let, for example, derive sine of x. And if I want to define a function like this, like cosine of x, but instead of typing cosine of x, I type the derivative of sine of x, I have to use define. I'm going to try for you the first way, and you are going to see that Maxima gives me the wrong result. Oh, it actually gives a warning that something is not right. So if I want to compute this function when x equals 0, for example, then Maxima complains. Then let me try now define. And if I compute, now Maxima gives me the right result. So this is what I want to show you today. If you think Maxima is interesting, please press the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.